That's right. Okay. Hello and welcome. Welcome, Cam. Hi.
Hey, how's it going, Spidey? Good to
It's
see you. Always love that intro. The tribute
Thanks
to the
for
great,
being here.
great news country there, Wood.
It's been a little while, but I'm thrilled to have you on, man.
Hey, thanks, brother, man. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, Spidey. I mean, you're one of my oldest friends here on YouTube, and
We were
and
just
a close
talking about
personal
that, weren't we?
yeah, and a close personal friend.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to say hello to FKHC. Hello, 2005. Welcome and cheers to you. And here's another personal friend. Now, I've met this fella in person, and I can vouch for him. He's a giant of a man, the comic relief crusader, and he is as funny as he seems.
Yeah, actually, I got something to say to him. I'll say that in a minute. First, hey Tim, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. FKHC 2000 out there, right?
Yep,
And
right.
then, oh, hey Sherry.
Hey, the
Hi,
lovely Sherry. Hi.
Hi, Sherry. It's so
And,
nice to see you.
another Western.
Oh, Suzanne. Hi,
Canadian.
Suzanne.
Yeah, she's in the western of Canada. Good
Oh, Suzanne's a sweetheart. Anyway, back to Crusader man.
Yes, Crusader man. He's right here.
He does an awesome streams. Titillating Tuesdays and I think it's Tantalizing Fridays.
And that's right. Yeah,
and
that's where we meant to set this up.
And he generously has invited me on before, and I haven't been able to take him up on it, but I would love to do so. So if the invitation's still open, I'd like to make some time and come on there because you guys have a lot of fun on there, Crusader. I'd like to join it.
Agree. Oh man, I'd love to. I don't know if I'm cool enough, but I would love to. I think he invited me on once, and I think he regretted it. So I don't know, but I'm not that funny. I'm average. No, we meant funny looking.
Right.
Right?
Funny looking.
Yeah. I don't know who to feel for, CSM or CRC. And then when we met in person. Thanks, Cam. And I want to say hello to Maddie's daddy. Where did you jump to? There he is, right there. Steve.
What's up, Steve? Man, how are you? Haven't seen you in a bit.
Hello and welcome. And hey, lemon pie. The guy who picks fights and then makes me kick people out. I'm kidding. Lemon pie. I'm totally fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. That was funny though. I didn't want to. I hate doing that. That sucked. And she was nice. I hate kicking nice people out.
Yeah, sometimes people
drama. Even Finity, I kicked Finity out. Not that I'm calling him nice, but I kicked him out because just drama, nothing but drama. And I don't. Yeah. And it might not have been his fault. Might have been. Who knows? But I just don't like drama. I cause drama. I don't like it in my chat.
No, I completely understand what you're saying. Sometimes you have to ride herd on people, and it's never.
Yes, but not in public. It should be in the privacy of your own home or hotel room. Or tent. We're talking backpacking tonight.
Yes, we are. Hammock is always good for backpacking.
Hammock, yeah, that's absolutely. What is the weirdest place you have slept as a traveler / backpacker?
Oh,
not as a kid. You sleep in fucked up places as a kid, not counting as a kid.
I mean, wow.
Good question, right?
Oh man, I can't. I mean, probably in a hostel in the red light district in Amsterdam, in an attic room that looked like it was. Anne Frank could have hidden there, and that's back when mushrooms were still legal. So I'd eaten a bunch of mushrooms, and I was drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels.
That okay.
And then I went out into Amsterdam.
That's yeah. That would mess you up a little bit.
Yeah, you walk in and the windows are just running, They run down the whole street, and the ladies of the night are
Yeah.
proffering their wares.
Well,
We'll put it.
usually behind glass. It's not like they're running around the streets. They're usually in.
No, yeah, it's a huge, just a
Yeah,
huge, it looks like an old plate glass window because the buildings are so old.
that's right.
Yeah, it's a giant portrait size window, and
Yep.
and then they draw the curtains when they're working,
Of
and
course.
then
Of course.
when there's downtime, it's time to advertise.
I think I I I saw them. I've been there. I think I've been there because Amsterdam is. If you want to go to Germany or Poland, or if you're because it's just north of if you're Belgium. If you like Belgium, you might as well go to Amsterdam. It's right, and I love Belgium. So I think I've been there 4 times or maybe 5 times. And
That's
and
way more than that.
oddly enough, I've never been to Rotterdam. So my mission is next time go to Rotterdam. I've never been there. Have you made it outside of Amsterdam proper to Rotterdam?
I was in Den Haag once,
Ooh,
The Hague.
okay.
I was there.
Oh, I've never been to The Hague. And hello, Stark of Iron. Speaking of The Hague, and
Hey, what's up, Tony, man? How are you, brother? I hope you're doing well.
Miskatonic.
Hey,
Oh,
Miss
and how
Catman.
was The Hague? How did you like it?
It was a very interesting experience. I had a friend who was over there working for Barclays Bank, and
Ooh, Barclays.
we had worked in New York City on Wall Street together, and
Nice.
he was over there. He was over there working, and he gave me the tour, through the city, the Capitol, the court. We went to the humanitarian court, and just so he could, show it to me, the United Nations humanitarian court, where
That must have been pretty cool. Yeah.
they do, war crimes and crimes
Yep.
against humanity trials there.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I mean, a beautiful place. The countryside was amazing. I love tulips. I don't know what it is. Roses are my favorite flower.
They do them unbelievable. So the Hague is different than the United Nations building because I've been in Brussels, in Belgium.
Right.
The UN building is there, but the Hague is different altogether.
Right. The Hague is the capital, right, of the Union, and it's also the capital of Denmark, of the Netherlands. Sorry. And so it's just it's packed with just history. You can see like where the palace is. Like William of Orange had a palace there, and he liked to skate, and he liked to do sand racing.
Ooh.
Where you have like a wheeled vehicle that's kind of like a triangle with a sail on it, and you sail up and down the beach.
Ooh, yeah.
And so they would do a lot of that kind of stuff.
That's cool. That's awesome.
And and they would skate through the canals, and you could skate in and out of the palace. That was kind of the thing.
Yeah.
And they would have like the
Royal
Guard, there as well, just patrolling it, in like ceremonial uniform and whatnot.
So FKHC says, with my luck, I will end up in The Hague. So were you, if you slept it, so your answer was you slept in the red light district in Amsterdam. Were you able to get any sleep there?
No, I think I might have napped maybe at some point for an hour or two. Like I said, I was being a little silly, and I had eaten some mushrooms, and
oh yeah, okay.
They were the really good fresh ones, and
nice.
They were Thai cubenzas, if I remember correctly, and the way they used to do it in Amsterdam was And before 2007, you could buy them legally, you know, and
Yes,
they
that's right.
coffee shops that you could go
Legal
to.
mushrooms, man. That's Japan. They were legal there the year before I moved there to teach English in 2004. And hello to Rusty Rivers. Good to see you, my friend.
Hey, Rusty, how are you, man? Yeah. So anyway, you would walk in, and they would have, you know, like a little fridge right behind the counter, and just like any other takeout joint, you had, you know, the little black plastic with the clear cover on it and a label of what it had and how much, you know, it weighed and everything. And you just paid your money and took them and left. And they were fresh. They weren't like, you know, you got dried,
Nice.
you know, that someone's
Yep.
out sitting down,
Made out of the cow poop.
Oh, just freshly, just harvested. You know, they're, if you've ever used like a special just soil that's
Mhm.
What's the word I'm looking for? Where it's been I want to say sanitized, but that's not the correct word. But anyway, and you just grow it, and you cut them off, and you don't, you can find them growing in cow shit, but that's not how they do it. You know what I mean? It's just not feasible to do it on a large scale with that amount of, you know.
No, but mushroom on pizza toppings. If you go to the full moon parties in Koh Samui, the island of Koh Samui, in Thailand, you can get magic mushrooms on your pizza toppings. Also in Luang Prabang in Laos, you can also get magic mushrooms. They're called Happy Pizza. Anything with happy on the menu in a third world country most likely has mushrooms and or weed on it. Just here's your first backpacking tip. Anything on the menu that has happy in Eastern Asia, chances are has magic mushrooms and or weed on it, especially in particular Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, and potentially Vietnam. So yeah, there's your first backpacking tip.
That is a good tip to know. I mean,
I know,
and I want to order the wrong thing one day. Like, oh, hey,
right?
That's appealing.
That's happy. It's happy magic. And do you know this fella? This is an awesome guy, the Padawannabe.
Hey, Padawannabe, what's happening? Yeah, run into him a lot. Actually,
can you read? Do you mind reading what the Padawannabe has to say?
No, the Padawannabe says to travel would be nice. I haven't ever even taken a vacation without visiting someone as the primary reason for the trip. Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. You know, usually it's nice to go and visit a friend, but it's also nice to just travel and not to have that, you know, have it tied to a certain person and what their schedule is and what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think a lot of us do more traveling to visit people than we do to travel for an experience. You know.
Yeah, I have done both. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
That is okay. Now the weirdest place I've slept. If you go to Western Australia and south of Perth, there's a town called Fremantle. You catch the ferry over to Rottnest Island from Fremantle. Fremantle is also where AC/DC used to do gigs at pubs and stuff before they became famous. So you go down to Fremantle, and there's a backpacker place there called the Fire Station, and it's an old fire station, and yes, complete with the fireman's pole, which, because too many drunken backpackers have hurt themselves on, now they've got it chained off, so you can't go down it anymore. But it's a legit fire station, so that was pretty cool.
That sounds freaking amazing, and I would have loved to go down the pole.
Yeah, I know. No, I didn't want to get kicked out. I didn't want to get banned, though.
You know, someone's clipping that right now about what I said about the poll.
Okay. Thanks, FK. See, Amsterdam is the capital, but The Hague is where the seat of government is. I would love to go to The Hague. Is there anything worth, like museums or anything there worthwhile seeing at The Hague?
Oh, yeah, like Tim pointed out, he is correct. Amsterdam is the capital, but the seat of government is in Den Haag in The Hague. And you can go in and what's that?
I was going to say, like, yeah, they must have some interesting stuff to see there.
Oh yeah, I mean it's you could see there's a famous building of just the where the government meets, like the main government building, and the name of it has a name. It's escaping me right now. I'm sorry. Amsterdam was actually the last person I was thinking about talking about tonight, but it just seems to come up.
Well, yeah, because
It came up earlier with my girlfriend too, so maybe I just have it on the brain a little bit. But
and you've just come back from Mexico, haven't you?
Yeah. I was just in Cancun again. We went last year as well. We went to go see the band Fish.
Like Fish a lot. Nice.
Yeah, my girlfriend and I are big fans, and they're from where I live around here. They went to school here. They met in college here. And so okay, they have a lot of ties here. I used to work for their production company, so I worked like a few of their festivals.
That's awesome.
Like yeah, it was fun. I used to work for the main guy, the front man, rather, but the main guy, the Trey Anastasio.
Trey Anastasio. That is awesome. That is pretty cool.
His brother-in-law.
I've got a CD of his, like he did a solo CD. I've got one or two of his around here too.
Oh yeah, the guy is just a complete powerhouse talent.
Yeah. You know this guy too, Herc 130.
Hey, Herc, what's up, brother? How are you? And hello to Mrs. Herc.
Yeah. Not the goofball special. No, the anything happy, but yes, the goofball special. They'll probably know what you mean. And you too, dude. Oh, great. And yeah.
Hey, DJ Play Nice. What's up?
It was Roxanne there. Roxanne. That is such a good song.
But I did see a guy look like Sting. But I don't. He was. I don't know if you would want to meet him. He was behind one of the glass windows.
Oh, you probably
not just ladies behind the glass windows.
Can you read this? Because this is interesting. I didn't even know that this place was a place.
Herc 130 says, at Canadian Spider-Man, I once slept in a camel barn in Thumraut, Oman. Nice.
Wow. Hey, if you send me a picture on Twitter and I'll post it here if you have that. But what I can, so this is another cool place I slept, and I want to see if you can tell me, chat, where do you think this is? Where is this? I slept there. Where do you what structure is it? And if you can name the desert, that'd be very impressive. And or what country? Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say the Sahara, right?
Ooh, in Morocco? No, no.
Okay, Morocco. All right.
That is a different camel, a different desert. Yeah, a different time, different trip. Lemon Pie says, I have been to Amsterdam, but I was not fortunate enough to be able to go around the other parts of Holland. No, I was with other people, I think, for the most part, and I never got to see The Hague or Rotterdam, but next time I go to Amsterdam, I indeed will. So let's see if anyone downtown LA says Miskatonic. Gobi Desert. No, DJ Play Nice. Awesome to have you here, my friend. No, it is the Great Thar Desert. And yes, right? That's right. FKHC, that is right. The Great Thar Desert, which is very a part of Cleveland, part of Rajasthan in India, and I slept on the castle wall.
Yeah, I was wondering the
They
turreted
renting a
wall
room
there.
right in the castle wall. And where did that go? And there's the castle right. Oh, cut
Oh
off the
wow!
top of it, damn it! But that's the castle there.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, man. I
How
thought it was.
old was
I
the
thought it was great
castle?
fun. Yeah,
Do you
there's
know
the
when it
view
was
of the
built?
castle.
Do you know when
That
it was built?
castle's name in Rajasthan. I forget. Damn it! I've got it on. Oh, I probably wrote it on the bottom of the picture. If I look at the file folder. Nope, not that time. I didn't. No, but you know what? I can find it in a minute. Um, Rajasthan castles. So that was and you know what? It wasn't expensive. And if you go to, my videos on my channel, I have a short video that I took of the room that I stayed at on that castle wall. So that was kind of, and it's just a short video. It doesn't take long. And
How did you end up with a room in a castle wall? I think that's probably a good
well,
travel
it's
tip.
more of a fort. Maybe castle is a misnomer. It's more of a fort, but it's kind of I mean, it is their version of a castle, and because
Right.
it's a hostel. Some genius opened up a hostel, and you can go and stay. In the oh, here it is. I found it. I'll be damned. Okay, this is the Golden Fort of Jaisalmer. Yeah, here the Golden Fort of Jaisalmer in Rajasthan. Bingo, that's it. Here, let me share this. So here. This is my photos of the castle, and it cropped the top of that. Unfortunately, it didn't crop the people. But so we'll stop that, and then I'll share what I found online right here. The Golden Fort of Jaisalmer. And I'm probably massacring that name. So can you see what I'm looking at now? So how's that for an intricate balcony?
Wow, that is amazing.
Isn't it incredible?
Yeah, you could see where Gaudi got a lot of Eastern influence in his in his architecture. You know, when you look at Barcelona and the structures that he put up there. Yeah, I mean, even outside of the cathedral.
So how's this?
Wow, it's beautiful, man.
This is that's the castle proper. So right up there, all those little rooms up there, they're not huge, but still, you're sleeping on a castle wall in the middle of in Rajasthan in the Great Thar Desert.
It looks like probably the best place to stay in town. Really.
So that was. I didn't even know that you could do that until I showed up there, and they offered it because people will advertise. They have services, then they will advertise that, right? And
right. Yeah, they'll have different, like tourists connect you with different hotels. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. Or they'll just pull you off the street and let you know. So that I want to shout out. That was dreamstime.com. That was their photo. I want to give them credit. Dreamstime.com. That was a photo of the Golden Fort of Jaisalmer. Unbelievable.
And how much did something like that run you? Would you say in U.S.?
I think it was about $10, my friend. Yeah. It's about $10. It was something ridiculous. Yeah. Golden Fort of Jaisalmer, and I'm massacring that name. But what other travel tips that jump to your mind right away?
Well, what I want to say, I don't know. This isn't, a friend of mine lived in this place, but the weirdest place I've ever slept is a deconsecrated church.
Oh dear!
It had been deconsecrated.
A desecrated church? What did you do to desecrate it?
No, not desecrated. Deconsecrated, meaning it was no longer considered a holy place.
But it was after still what you did to it.
It was still the church building, but it had been converted into a house. But it still had the fire loft.
So is it no longer holy there? Like, I guess.
Yeah. I hadn't really understood that that was a thing. I knew the Catholic Church would sell property and things like that, but I didn't know that you could actually deconsecrate a church, and then sell it off as just regular real estate.
Like you can sell off a McDonald's, so anything is possible. And Lemon Pie was saying, were others sleeping on the castle wall too? Yes. As a matter of fact, I shared the room with an Australian girl, and we had met just because we were the only two white people in the region. There was nothing going on between us, nothing like that. But we shared the room. It had it was all kosher like that. I think it was a massive king friggin' bed. There were other rooms on the wall that you could rent. And absolutely. And I'll find that video. Do you mind reading what Herc 130 said, please?
Herc 130 says, I once slept on a C-130 at Mogadishu, Somalia, with an M4 on my chest in case raiders tried to break in 93. Wow. Not kidding. Yeah, no kidding on that, right? 93, Somalia. Yeah, I can imagine. You were happy to have that M4.
Wow. Okay.
Herc's
never been to Somalia. No.
I have. It's a shell.
Yeah.
Herc, you'll attest to that, right?
So
I was in that. Sorry.
No. You go ahead and finish because this is on, and then we'll switch back to. You go ahead.
Oh yeah. I was just nothing good to say about that, really. Anyway, I just minor sidetrack there. I was not too far away in Djibouti, and we would go some of these places that were in neighboring countries and do things, and none of it was ever any fun. They were all not very nice places. So
no,
I mean, just think, Herc's a pilot. He's sleeping in his C-130 with an M4. I don't know how much range time they're giving the Air Force these days, but it's probably not, even back then, probably not much.
It's expensive.
Yeah, well, and you're glad to have that M4 off that. Anyway.
Wow. Yeah. No, that doesn't sound fun at all. It absolutely was a room, and it was like five less than $10, I'm sure. Yeah. And you do see the Gaudi in it. Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say hello to Carla, of course. And hello to everybody. Welcome. And I want to say hello to PVP. And Suzanne says, Canadian Spider-Man, my girlfriend and her family live in the large church here, our village. It was sold to her. Oh, wow. Okay, so that is a thing. Yeah. Okay, that is cool. Suzanne says, hi, Tony. And Cam, if you want to show any of your photos at any time, you just throw them up, and I'll put them up here.
Okay. I was just wondering. I have a tendency to drop myself out of the chat when I start scrolling through my pictures. So. We don't have to do that. Not at all. Oh, I think Herc agrees with you. Do you mind reading what Herc says? Herc 130 says, "Yep, total shithole. The whole place even smells like that." And yes, it does. It's still open air, defecation.
Yeah.
You usually run down the middle of the street, or sometimes on two sides like gutters, but a lot of times down the middle of the street, and you'll see people out there taking a squat, and
not really.
cholera and things like that. I mean, for traveling tips, I mean, not everyone is going to Europe. You know what I mean? There are adventurous people going out there, and what you really want to be number one tip is clean water. Yeah,
Absolutely,
cholera is a real thing. Other,
Yep.
GI things that you could pick up. There's a myriad of things that just having clean water will keep you out of trouble when, and that goes. Yep. I mean, I was just in Mexico. Yes, I ate the fruit. I ate vegetables. But I did, drink bottled water. All the ice was, bottled water, made from bottled water and things like that.
Yep. That's the way. Yeah, that's smart, man. It has to be. And just be careful. Like even brushing your teeth in bottled water in some cases. When I was living in Mexico for the 5 months over the winter, by month 2, I started using the water at my place, but because I built up a small tolerance over time to it. And I want to bring, that's one of the next tips we can talk about. One of the travel tips here is when you go to other places, some things are going to be different, and especially bathroom facilities. And I did want to bring that up. Sometimes this is, what you either that or you go out in the street. So this is your option here. Now, what style of toilet is this called?
Oh, geez.
There's a couple of names.
Yeah, I mean, for all of them, we just generally. I use the British bog for most of these because that's what they remind me of. You know what I mean? And are those
you've heard of
sponges? Are those sponges next to the?
No, those are little blocks. Those are little blocks that you can stand up out of the water because there's a lot of water gets thrown around and hosed down just to clean it. So you stand on those little wooden blocks to get up off the floor. But that's known as a squat toilet or a Turkish toilet.
Turkish toilet.
So be prepared. When you travel to some third world countries, there's some amazing things, but you gotta expect conditions aren't like home. I guess is a lesson there. So I guess the tip is always carry your own supply of toilet paper and tissue.
Yes,
at least for two goes.
Well, and you were talking about water because I was going to say that usually in those in the squat toilet or the Turkish toilet, it's usually you're looking at isn't there a bucket and a ladle a lot of times?
That's right. Yeah,
I've seen
absolutely. Don't drink that water.
I've seen people also use just like a regular water bottle. You know what I mean? You would see them taking it in and out with them, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I've had it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Ooh, I forgot another cool place that I stayed at was in China. I just talked about this because we did China a little while ago. Was an actual monastery up in Chengdu.
Oh, wow.
And it was a functioning Taoist monastery. And they rent rooms. You can go and because I guess they're capitalist monks, and they raise money for survival, I suppose. So we stayed up there, myself and the American girl that I was traveling with. Again, no funny business. We were just friends at the time. Funny business came much later. And actually here it is. This is one of the pictures, I think, and I'm sure I showed this last week or the week before. But yeah, that was taken there. And just gorgeous. So staying inside the actual Taoist temple was pretty spectacular. And that you might actually, maybe you might have seen these before, but that temple had a bunch of very rude, and that was on the hike up. We didn't stay inside that building, but that was part of the complex on the same hill. There was some lewd and rude statues that were like with animals and monks, and it was just very weird. And yeah, so that was part of where we stayed. And here's another shot here. That was a cool place to stay overnight.
Yeah,
we had 4 poster beds with the sheer curtains hanging down. She had one and I had one, and because we weren't together. And then but the wash basins, there was no running water, so they boiled water, and then you stood in a tub and poured water over yourself with a washcloth, and that's how you took a bath.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was a weird place to stay. I want to say hello to Rusty and Suzanne and Maddie's daddy. And Susan Dolan. Hello and welcome to you. Hi, Susan Dolan.
Hi, Susan.
Now another traveling tip that I thought was pretty cool. When you go to places, sometimes you have to, there we go. You change money, and sometimes you have to carry a whole lot of money. And actually, that reminds me, here's a good one. So have you been anywhere where you change money and then you end up getting like $1 bazillion back, and it like there's an obvious bulge in your pocket just to carry $20 around because it's a lot of money?
I was just in I was just in Mexico.
Mexico. Bingo.
Yeah. I took out like $60, and it's like I don't know, it was like almost like $2,000, and I'm walking around with a stack of $200 bills, and it's not a lot of money, but it's like more than I think 100 pesos was $5, and 50 pesos was like $2.50, right? So and that's what I'm tipping out, you know what I mean? So this is like using it as tip money. You try to get 20s, because 20 pesos is like $1, So if you think of that in basic comparison, so for every dollar that you would normally carry around, and you're on vacation,
that's just it.
Things are expensive, you like to have a good time.
That's just it.
You need cash. If you don't, like me, I would prefer to pay in cash personally for things,
especially when you're traveling overseas like this. Now, if you're going to London or Madrid or Barcelona or Paris or somewhere in Germany, you can just travel on your cards, your bank cards and your credit cards, and assuming that they don't have a lot of fees that you have to pay. But normally, when you travel to places that aren't, I think, I've been to a couple dozen, if I counted them up, I honestly could say a couple dozen underdeveloped countries. And there it's cash is king. In fact, in South America, even a person from Canada, like myself, with a passport and ID, to stay at a hotel, and it was a nice hotel, they would not take credit card. And there was a thing on the window. Oh, here's another tip. Tip number 4 or 3.5. Even if it has a MasterCard logo on the window of the hotel in South America, you can argue till the cows come home. You can have a Spanish friend who can argue fluently with them. It doesn't matter. In South America, because of the credit card fraud that has taken place over the last couple decades, they will not take credit cards, even though there's a logo above their head. And even though you are not a Spanish of descent, you're a Western person with a good credit card, they just will not. They will not. So there's another tip. So this is money. Guess what country this might have been? It's not obviously it's not a Western country. I'm not that rich. This is, I think, like $55 American. Jeez. Guess what country that might be? And I'll get to the chat. I'll get right back to the chat. See if they know.
I'm trying to figure it out. I can't make out the bills from here.
Ooh. Hey, Big Dave K, welcome to you. and it is close to Thailand, but it is not Thailand. And I want to
Well,
say hello to Tiger Stripes. Hi, and welcome to you. We will, we're doing travel tips with our good friend Tiger Stripes. You know Cam for a long time.
hi, Tiger Stripes. It's very nice to see you. I hope you're well.
Yeah, not Thailand, but close to Thailand. What do you think, Cam?
Is it Laos or Cambodia?
Ooh, yes, bingo. That would have been Laos.
Yeah.
I
always pronounce
was
the S.
Lao.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was Lao. Yeah, that was Lao, and that was 2000. That was 20 years. That was me 20 years ago, my friend.
Well,
I always had those widow's peaks. I always had these. Always. I'm not losing my hair. I always had those. Always, even when I was 30.
Well, I just love. I love the huge smile, and you look like you're pouring tea,
dude.
And there's like
cash that is.
And there's so much cash on the thing that you look like you're in Colombia about to make a deal.
I but that's $50 US or something ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
At the time, yeah, Lao, it was ridiculous, the exchange rate.
Yeah, inflation, the inflation and then the exchange rate. I mean, because but that was what I'm thinking is with that much cash, you know what I mean? How long would that have lasted you in Laos?
Oh, I think the visa was for, you can get 15 days, or you could in 2005 for 15 days.
Mm-hmm.
I would have stayed the whole time as long as I could. So that would have lasted me. I doubt I would have had to. I don't think I got money out again. In fact, I had some left over, and I've got it, and I showed it when I did one of these Travel Talk Thursdays, and I pulled it out and showed it out of the box. So I don't think I had to get money again. I think that was, and it's a pain. Okay, another travel tip number 5. Some countries, it is very difficult to get money out of the bank. Don't assume that every country you can go and get money out of bank machines or use your credit card. Some countries in the world only, especially in Central America, only take Visa and nothing else. And then some places in Europe, I think it might have been Amsterdam or Belgium, they only took MasterCard.
Yeah. I've heard that.
Right?
Yeah.
And in India, to get money out, you have to physically go to India was 2004 again, so it's been 20 years. But in India, I had to go. The only way to get money was to go to the bank, unless you're in like New Delhi. That's different. It's a modern city-ish.
Right.
But in any other city in India, you've got to go to the bank, wait in line, fill out a paper form for half an hour, and then go and show 2 pieces of ID just to get out money. It's a big deal there.
Oh, yeah.
So when you get a chance, take out as much money as you can. And if you take out more, you know what? It becomes souvenirs, Right.
Because it pretty much becomes, it's not economically viable to even exchange it. And
it's not worth
if
your
you
time.
don't have enough of it, they won't even exchange it. Banks, if you don't have enough, they're just like.
And hi, Sashi. Hello, Sashi. We're talking about over on your side of the world. This is from Laos. This is Laotian money, so that's sort of on your eastern side of the world. And the other thing too, Cam, something, if you're not in a very secure area, say you are traveling, because some countries you travel to are just gorgeous. But you do have to be concerned about your safety as a person that stands out. I mean, you don't have to worry. I mean, you can worry about your safety walking in downtown Vancouver, Toronto. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
My point is, every time if you go to the bank, be aware of your surroundings. You could be watched. Just be aware. Same as in your town, perhaps too. And I don't carry all of my money in one place. That's another tip that I would tip number 6. Do not carry all of your money and all of your ID, for that matter, in one place. I
but
always have my passport physically on me. If I go to the beach, it's under my towel or it's locked if in the safe at the hostel or the hotel. But
I,
usually it's physically on me, not on your backpack, not in your purse, on you.
yeah, I was going to say, I usually, all right, for traveling, I'm a person who likes lots of pockets, but they need to be
Yep.
secure pockets with, like zippers on them. Um,
That's
uh,
no kidding, Miskatonic.
and I always assume that I am being watched because in the spots that tourists frequent
That's a good
are
assumption.
are where people are going to congregate to prey on tourists, right?
That's right.
Um, and a lot of the scams take place either with tampering with the ATM machines themselves to use like a fake card reader
It's rare, but that's where it can happen. Yep.
and then in other places be you should be thinking, people are aware that I'm here, especially like you were saying, in a place where you stick out, whether it's Japan or Turkey,
Yep.
just as an example. I mean, two completely different places, but you're not like everyone else, and people are going to have a curiosity about you,
Right.
and in most cases it's purely innocent, but in some cases it might not be. It's a very, very wise idea, to just be cognizant of where you are and what time of day you're doing things. You want to
Yes.
you don't want to be taking money out at 2 a.m. Nothing happens good at 2 a.m. somewhere. You know what I mean?
That's right. And whatever you're going to spend the money on at 2 a.m, it's probably better that you don't. You're going to be happy in the morning if you just don't.
Right. And the other thing, a money belt. A money belt, I think, is a good place. Like, if you're not going to be in a water situation, or if you are, you can get a waterproof one. And I have a waterproof case that I also keep.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
I have a waterproof. I can
Bingo,
show it.
lemon pie.
Here, I'll go grab it in a minute, but and
Yeah.
I can slip my phone and my passport in there, and it has a lanyard I can wear around my neck so it's against my chest, and that's good, even if I might get wet that day, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And that I've also used a money belt. I find that to work well too. That's more for like city traveling and stuff like that, where I'm far from the ocean or a lake or anything like that, and I'm just traveling around.
Oh,
Like in Europe on trains or buses. I use a lot of bus travel when I'm in Europe. I find it to be very.
I love buses. I will not fly around a country if I can help it. I like the buses or the overland travel.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Because you see so much more. You meet the locals. You meet the people. You get to hear things and get advice about where you're going to travel next. Speaking of lakes,
and beautiful. I was wondering.
That's real.
That is amazing. And where is this?
What country do you think that is?
Well, I'm going to think. I'm thinking Southeast Asia again, but I could be wrong.
You got the south part right. I wonder if the chat knows. No, Vietnam. I love Vietnam, but it wasn't where all that money was. Why is the lake pink? Because there is bingo West Cago. Hey, buddy, West Cago. West Cago got it. That is Australia. That is Western Australia and tiger stripes. It is a lot of Western Australia, especially up north, is very red, and it's got iron ore in the naturally occurring, and it's got all kinds of other minerals. A lot of pink. There's opals in Central Australia, in South Central Australia, but in Western Australia, there's one place that I forget what mineral is pinkish. I want to say bauxite, but I don't think that's it. I'm sure someone knows more than I do, but whatever. And so the powder from the operation goes into the pond. They had to make they had to make a pond, a reservoir for water to power the mill. And so in the lake, this is all the powder from the ore that they're mining that goes and fills in the lake. There's no fish in there because it's not like a natural lake. It's a reservoir for water for the place. But
yeah,
they call it Pink Lake.
It's a containment pond.
Yeah,
really.
yeah, but I don't think fish wouldn't like come to that and on purpose. You wouldn't think. Okay, Sashi says bauxite is reddish, so I might not be misremembering. I could be remembering correctly.
Yeah,
so that's in Western Australia.
Yeah, I would imagine that there's not probably too much living in there at all.
I wouldn't think so. Now Australia has another man-made lake. It is way out, also in Western Australia, and it is called. Oh, this is going way back. This is going back to 2001. It's called Lake Argyle.
So the Campbells. So what you're saying is the Campbells were there.
Oh, is that what they really? Oh, I didn't know that. And
yeah,
I went to Australia for 2 weeks, but never went north. Lake Argyle in north Western Australia. They made a lake. They dammed it up for, I believe, diamond mining. If I'm not mistaken, again going back 20 years, they dammed it up for, and it's the biggest man-made lake in all of Australia and maybe the world. And I flew in a plane over it because you can go see the Bungle Bungles.
Oh, wow.
And you see that as part of the flight. The Bungle Bungles are like the hoodoo gurus in Alberta. They're like little like mounds where the erosion has eroded everything around them, and they just look like, from the air, they look like massive like pillars, and they're multicolored. And Bungle Bungles, no one over here ever hears of the Bungle Bungles. I doubt if anyone in the chat has heard of the Bungle Bungles in Western Australia, and they've been known for at least 25 years now. I'll be damn surprised. My point is, Cam, there are so many wonderful sights on this earth, and that you'll never see them all. There's things that you've never heard of that are amazing.
Well, and a lot of the times, I think it goes back to it's how you travel, right? Because you run across someone who passes on a piece of information to you, you know what I mean, or relates like like you said, the Bungle Bungles have only been known for what, 25 years, you said?
At least 25 years. It was 20 years ago that I was there, and they'd been known for, I think maybe they'd been discovered in like late 80s, I guess. So, between 25 and 35 years, yeah.
But, people started sharing the knowledge of them, which made it a place to go and see, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't have known about them, right? And that's part of what you get from just varying your types of transportation through a country, bring you in contact with more people, and will take you to places that you don't ordinarily get to see, right?
That's right.
The off the beaten path,
absolutely right.
The places that the locals go to eat, or the places that
I'll
the locals
Google it right now. I'm not crazy. You're absolutely right, and that's why I like riding on the buses. I rode on a bus in Laos going over to Vietnam, and it was supposed to be 16 hours. It turned out to be 22 friggin' hours. And the farmer beside me loved me because I brought a flask with me of Lao Lao, which is Lao whiskey. They call it Lao Lao. I don't know why. Okay. And I made friends. He didn't speak a lick of English. He was about 60, had no teeth, but we had nothing in common except we both like Lao Lao. And him and his buddy and I, we passed that bottle around, and the trip became pretty good. I don't think he had a penny to rub together to buy his own. But I was
and you probably,
and I figured if shit goes down, like this guy will at least say, "Well, this guy's a nice guy."
He shared his Lao Lao with me. I mean, he can't be all bad.
That's right. That's right.
Well, what the other thing I was going to see is, I bet you guys were able to communicate a lot better at the end of the Lao Lao than you
were. Bingo, bango, my friend. Yep, you're right. Okay,
Hey,
yeah, here they
I
are.
wanted to say hi to Wes Cagle, though. By the way, I saw you in the chat there, Wes, and it's always a pleasure to see you, man. So hello there.
You're damn right. It's yeah. He's a fantastic dude. So
Yeah,
I want to know, anyone in the chat, have you heard of the Bungle Bungles? Because I doubt anyone in the chat has heard of the Bungle Bungles. And that Pink Lake says West Cagle, Arizona. Good guess. So I don't know if it's poisonous tiger stripes. I did because at 32 years old, I thought I was indestructible. 31, I thought I was indestructible. So I did scoop some water with my hand and drink from it.
oh,
I'm still okay, but I only
yeah,
had a handful of it. And it wasn't
yeah,
Vegemite; it was definitely bauxite of some sort. Yeah, the closest.
yeah. I mean, the that's probably the least
Mr.
of
Bungle, no.
the problems.
And it isn't pink due to salt. No, that's not what I was told from the nearby tourist pamphlet legislation at the tourist shop. But I mean, they could have told us anything. Who knows? That's
Yeah,
Tiger and I are asking similar questions at Big Dave K. Yeah, exactly.
if they could have gotten
Spielberg, hello.
if they could have gotten away with telling you it was just salt, they would have.
Except not Wes Cagle. He's cut off. Do you mind?
What's up, Shakespeare?
Do you mind reading this from our friend Big Dave K?
Of course not. Hey, Big Dave K at Canadian Spider-Man. Doesn't Vietnam have an alcoholic beverage called snake wine? And I believe it does, Big Dave. They take a small snake and put it in some water and let it ferment. I'm not sure about the process on that, but I have heard that before, that there is, snake wine. I've actually seen this as a rattlesnake inside a bottle of not tequila, but what's the cheap alternative to tequila?
Oh shit!
It begins with the T too, doesn't it? Jesus. It's like
yes.
the knockoff version of
it's escaping me, but yes, I know what you mean. Yeah,
I've seen an actual rattlesnake in a one of those.
Right.
They would talk about getting snake bit.
Oh yeah. Well, I did. Speaking of Vietnam, I took this photo in Hanoi, and I have a smaller bottle that I brought home, and my buddy and I drank it.
How was that?
It tasted. Have you ever licked the underside of a frog?
No, but I've wanted to lick the back.
That's what it tastes, and not a magic foot. It tastes like that. So yeah, this is the Cobra. This is in Hanoi in Vietnam, and this is the Cobra whiskey that they make. The Cobra wine. They anything Cobra. Just they'll
right.
They'll sell it
Cobra
to you.
in the name.
That's right.
Wow, that is
absolutely.
That's just an amazing souvenir to have. I mean, it's crazy.
You lick the underside of a frog, and that's what it tasted like.
Yeah, the only frog I'm ever licking is one that's going to make me see things.
Yeah, this was hard. Yes, Tiger Stripes. The one in the picture behind your words, it is hard liquor. And yes, Big Dave K, it was potent. There's a lot that I don't remember from that night. I remember taking that photo. I do remember taking that photo. I will say that. But
and those are the beginning and the end of my memories.
Yeah, and if I can, I will. I found a picture. So no one in the chat has heard of the Bungle Bungles. So I'll show you. They are pretty spectacular. Here they are. So this is a shot from scenicflightbooker.com. So you can fly over them, and you take a little plane in northwestern Australia, and you can fly over these, and you see that man-made Lake Argyle at the same time. And it's just a normal colored lake up there. But these Bungle Bungles are incredible. And you can also rent mountain bikes or Jeeps or go on a Jeep tour and go jeeping or mountain biking through these. They're incredible formations. They're
That looks
absolutely
amazing.
fantastic.
Taking a Jeep
Yeah.
tour, that sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And a lot of people don't they don't know. They don't know what this is. They don't
Well, and the other thing is, I mean,
there.
Australia, I've got Australian friends, and I've always wanted to go to Australia because of just the natural beauty, like the picture we're looking at here. But everything wants to fucking kill you. I mean, how many things?
That's what
How
the
many
lake
things?
tasted like. Have you ever tasted water with chalk dust in it? Water and chalk, my friend. Water and chalk. So yeah, no one's heard of the Bungles, and these are amazing.
Yeah, they are completely
Western Australia
amazing.
has a lot. Western Australia has a lot. Looks very alien. Big Dave K says. So I guess that would be my other tip. Another backpacking tip is take local transportation and stay in hostels, because you get tips on places that when you go. Well, I guess this blends into tip number 7 too. Plan a flexible itinerary, because you will hear of places that you didn't even know existed living back home, and then you go over there and you hear and you see a pamphlet in a hostel or on a bus or somewhere, or you start up a conversation. Someone just came from there and say, "Oh, you got to go see the Bungles." What the fuck are the Bungles?
Hey, if we could just go back one tip real quick, just another money,
Oh
carrying
yes,
money
yeah.
tip.
I have another one of those. Yes, please go ahead.
And you've probably heard, I carry, like, on this trip to Mexico, like I have a wallet that I carry every day around here, and it's got all my credit cards and a couple of different versions of ID and whatnot in it, right?
Yes.
But when I'm traveling specifically, I will carry a second wallet,
Ooh.
and I will pair what I take
Yes.
out actually out and about with me that isn't
Okay.
secure, like you said, in the room
Yes.
safe or something of that nature. Or I'll a lot of times I'll even carry a lockbox with me.
Oh, okay.
It's the same kind of lockbox that you would carry a firearm in. And so, but it's a square box, and it has a metal wire, and it has one end of the wire has a loop, and the other has a metal clip, and you loop that around something, and then you put it inside, and then when you close the lid, it locks, right?
Okay,
Because
smart.
they're a little bit heavy, but if you don't mind carrying a little bit extra weight, because backpacking, you're trying to keep it light. But
That is
this
key. That's another tip. Absolutely.
this is a secure box that only you can get into. There are ways to get into hotel safes and things of that nature, and let's just say that also there are many places that will not provide you with a secure location to put your things.
Many places. Yeah, that's true.
So having your own little lockbox that you can secure to, something that's like a radiator or a pipe or something, you don't want it to be out in the open. The bed frame, if it's made of metal, you can
Exactly. That's a good one. I've done that.
fit under the mattress. So those are two good things that I recommend. I recommend carrying a small wallet with just like a single, picture form of ID. Sometimes I use my VA card, or I may use my license, or it depends. And then I'll have maybe like one credit card that maybe one MasterCard, one Visa, or maybe just one card if I'm in a country that only accepts one card. And I'll have that in the
Yep.
wallet, and I'll have some cash in there, but I won't have all of my cash in there. And and what I'll usually do is I'll keep cash that I'm going to be using in a secure pocket with a zipper on it. A lot of times it's a back pocket, or in shorts, or pants, it's a side pocket that actually zippers. I'm actually wearing pants right now.
Yes, zipper. That's another great tip is zippered pockets when you backpack on your clothing.
I'm going to show you the pants I'm wearing. See how it has an extra zipper pocket here? Can you see that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here, I can make you. Here, let me stop sharing. Oh, yeah.
If you can
Zipper
see
pockets.
Zipper pocket has one on both sides.
That's
and
it.
It has regular pockets, and then it's got. I won't show you my butt, but and then it's got a zipper pocket.
If we get now, if we were monetized, we could ask $10 super chat, and he shows his butt.
Well, yeah, for $10 super chats for Spidey, I'll show my ass all day.
So,
I usually
this is the Bungle range up in in the Kimberley, up in north the northern part of Western Australia. So if you look here, and I'm zooming out, this is Australia, and Western Australia is practically, well, it's the entire western third of Australia. It is, I think, my favorite state. Although Queensland, I love parts of Queensland too. Brisbane and Port Douglas in particular. But so talking of Western Australia, and way up north in the very northeast corner where it almost touches Northern Territory, famous for Ayers Rock, Uluru, and Darwin. Darwin is in Northern Territory, but right south of Darwin, and we drove here from Darwin, is a little place. And so I did a road trip from Darwin with a couple of other Canadians all the way down the coast and all the way down to Perth, down here in Western Australia. And that took 3 weeks. So here is the Bungles right here. Now, Darwin is, it's pretty cool. The Japanese actually bombed the crap out of there in World War II. And they've got a great museum there about that. And there are crocodiles and jellyfish up there. But it's still...
those are saltwater crocodiles, right?
They are. I still went in up to my knees. The girl I was with got stung by jellyfish tentacles that had broken off a jellyfish, but they still were enough to sting her.
Yeah,
she was fine. Yeah. And Catherine is another town that was really dusty and just like outback, like Western, Old West kind of town. I enjoyed Catherine. Catherine Gorge is there. I forgot all about Catherine Gorge. Catherine Gorge is there.
Here's another travel tip.
Bungles right there.
When stung by jellyfish, you shouldn't actually let people pee on
Lake
you.
Argyle. Yes. What is your other travel tip?
That when stung by jellyfish, you shouldn't actually.
We had apple juice.
That's a much more reasonable choice.
No, unless, that's right. So here is Lake Argyle right there, and the Bungles are right there. And that's right, we stayed in Kununurra. You can fly from Kununurra, and I'm probably mispronouncing that. You can fly from Kununurra, and you can go over Lake Argyle, and here are the Bungles right here, and they're just amazing. And or you can do jeep tours from Kununurra. But I forgot all about. And see, this is not, and you never hear about this. When I was in Australia, I heard about it. Was Catherine Gorge. And have you ever heard of Catherine Gorge? Everyone here hears of, where Crocodile Dundee was filmed in Kakadu National Park, but south of there is Catherine, and I really enjoyed Catherine. Had a great time there, and less tourists. And that's the other thing. That's another tip. Look for places that are equally cool. They might not be as touristed.
Well, that's a great tip. And I'll even relate that to one of the more popular places to visit, Barcelona in Spain. Right? Everyone, goes to Spain, goes to Barcelona. right? Okay.
I love Barcelona. It's my favorite city.
I love Barcelona. It's absolutely beautiful. The people are great, but just south of Barcelona, right on the ocean, beautiful place. Just a smaller city, much more walkable. Brilliant architecture. Great place. This old plaza where they used to have bullfights. That the balconies are still numbered to this
Ooh.
day.
The
Is
architecture in Spain is surprising, isn't it? It's really
it's
nice.
Valencia. Valencia it is one of
Yeah.
those alternative places. I mean, it's still a famous place. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But it doesn't have the same amount of tourism that
Well,
Barcelona does, or
but
even a Madrid. You
but
know,
Valencia has, again, we were just talking about amazing, incredible, world mind-blowing things that you never heard of until you get over there. Valencia, isn't it in Valencia where Alhambra is?
no, oh no, I believe that is south in Salamanca, right?
No, not Salamanca.
No. Maybe you're right. I might not. There was one place that I never got to, and that could have been the Alhambra, which is in Valencia.
Absolutely incredible, my friend.
Yeah,
Absolutely
there,
unbelievable.
there.
Alhambra, and I'd never heard of it. Why don't they teach us about that in school? Because Alhambra is one of the most amazing structures I've ever seen. I mean, Alhambra is honestly up there with the Vatican as far as not in importance, but just architectural beauty,
Architectural, yeah.
in my humble opinion.
I think a lot of that is that it it doesn't get the same amount of attention. Um, I think because it was built by the Islamic conquerors. You know what I mean? And so and
Oh,
it's not as well known in the West, you know, in our Western history
bingo.
books. You know, like you said, why don't they teach about that? Because
That
they don't teach about that period of history. They teach about the
oh,
Reconquista, you know, the reconquering and what was designated, you know. People, when they think of crusades, only think of the crusades to restore Jerusalem, but the retaking of Spain from the Moors was also considered crusading, and was funded and propagated by the Pope, and that's where a lot of holy orders, like the Knights Templar, when the Knights Templar were dissolved in the 1300s in 1313, I believe it was. Um, there were other orders of knights, like holy orders of knights, and a lot of those orders um, survived in Spain after the purging, but the Templars were amalgamated into these other orders, and a lot of them were kept, and then you had the Reconquista, where you know they slowly pushed the Moors out, and that's where you get, you know, the Alhambra is Moorish architecture. It's that Islamic influence, and I think that
yep.
it just isn't, that part of history isn't well taught even in Spain, and there's
I didn't
even
even
less
know this
well known
building
outside of it.
existed, buddy. I mean, they did teach us that the Moors conquer, hit Europe a little bit, and I think even like Robin Hood touched a little bit of that with with the Kevin Costner movie. So I was aware of that, but I didn't know that a palace like this existed until I got over there. So that's part of the going back to the other. The tip is, be open to having a flexible schedule, because this took an entire day up, and it's one of the
Oh,
most amazing days I had in Spain. And excuse me, it's in Granada.
Granada. Oh yeah,
Granada.
it's not Valencia. I
It's
was
not
thinking
Valencia. No, it
Salamanca,
didn't
but
sound right, but it is Granada. Excuse me.
Granada, yeah.
In the same area. Excuse me, the southern coast.
Right.
Excuse me.
Where Valencia is a little bit more towards the north. Like I kind of have never made it south past
Yeah.
Madrid, which is like kind of in, if you draw a line like from Madrid from east to west, through
Okay.
Spain.
Yeah.
I've been to the northern part of Spain.
I've never been up there except on a
I've never
bus, and
been
that doesn't really
to
going
the
to
southern
Portugal
part.
from Madrid. That doesn't count. I
Right.
drove through it.
So
And we
places
gotta
like
go. You and I gotta go backpacking through Spain, man. So this is from Alhambra, something they don't teach us about. At least my school didn't.
I will be in Spain this summer. I will be.
Uh-huh.
I know for sure that I will be in Pamplona
Fantastic.
for the running of the bulls. At least not the whole running, not the whole festival. But this is going to probably be my last runs this year. I'm going to try to get in as many as I can. I have 19 runs. I've run 19 times now, and I'd like to get 25, but
25 if you can. So these are some of the interior shots.
I don't think I'm going to make it. But whatever number I end up with this year will be my final tally. And I'm taking my girlfriend, and I'm going to introduce her to my love of
Nice.
Spain and
Well, that
bulls.
counts as 2 because she wouldn't be there if not for you.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a good time.
Man, like you just don't see this in many places. This is all I want to. I want to say sandstone. I don't think it's limestone. I want to say that was sandstone.
I think you're correct that this is sandstone.
Yeah, but unbelievable. I mean, this
so,
wall that would have been your work for your life. There you go. There's your lifetime's work.
Well, and they were skilled craftsmen who had been brought from the Middle East, to North Africa and then into Spain to build. I mean, these are the same architecture which was used in the Hagia Sophia.
I've heard of that. And the ceiling, man, I stared at that ceiling for hours. Unbelievable. We don't hear about this place, but it was incredible.
Well, and it was like one of the because the Moors were so familiar with dealing with the heat and everything, their style of architecture was much more suited to the climate here, and it was more of that Eastern palace and less of that Western citadel. You know what I mean? It had a combination of both things. I mean, it's a fortified position, but it was also very open for its time and airy. You know what I mean? You can see where the airflow is coming through, and then all the just intricate carvings.
Incredibly.
And like I said, this is a place that I've never been, but I have read about and seen pictures of when I was just exploring Spain.
So William Shake Spielberg in the chat says Crocodile Dundee is being released in 4K very soon. And the studio has removed the very funny tranny joke scene and the other funny gender check scene. Really? Those are iconic scenes. That's near the start of the movie. What's next on the chopping block? I wish I hadn't known that.
Well, I think that was a little double entendre there with what's next on the chopping block as well.
Oh shit!
You're right. And very funny, by the way.
Yes, that's right, Lemon Pie. PvP, be careful. I know you're a grown dude, so we don't want to tell you what to do, but be careful going to sleep with the oven on.
Hey, PvP, how are you, man? What's going on? Why are you sleeping with the oven on, man?
Well, he's just taking a nap before supper. My dad used to do that.
Okay. All right.
Hello, and good to see you.
I just wanted to make sure that his heat wasn't off or something. You know what I mean?
No.
I know that you guys have been having some seriously cold temperatures up there.
Yeah, but absolutely not as cold as we normally get. It's going down to maybe minus 18. And this time of year, maybe we have minus 30, so that's not so bad. I mean, we've gotten away with a mild winter so far. And
Oh,
Daniel's Hot Topics.
Hey,
Hello.
Daniel, what's happening, man?
He said George Costanza in Seinfeld called the Moors the Moops. Oh dear.
The Moops. You are incorrect. It's the
Daniel.
Moors.
No.
That's from the Bubble Boy episode.
Oh, okay. He didn't get credit for correctly answering the Moors. Okay, I get it. George told the Bubble Boy, sorry, it's pronounced Moops. Do you mind
Yeah.
reading this from our friend William Shakespeare?
William Shakespeare says, there's a Crocodile Dundee trilogy on Blu-ray from 2021. I'm going to buy that. I don't care if the mastering quality is old. Tinkering with films is heresy. And then it's an emoji kind of pissed off and
Yeah. Yep.
And I would have to agree, and that's why that more of us need to be buying physical media before it gets edited. Much like Star Wars was Star Wars, for 20 years, and then George went, "Oh, and we'll call it A New Hope, and I'll remaster it, and I'll make a lot more fucking money."
That's exactly.
Now,
the other.
Don't get me wrong, I love George, but I just saw the picture of him signing the contract with Bob Iger.
Oh, yeah, right.
And the guy's like, there's a voiceover, and he was like, you can see the regret on the man's face right as he does it. And George's head is down, and he's signing, and you don't see his expression. And then he signs it, and he looks up, and it's like that moment had finally hit him. Like, yeah, imagine the negotiations have been going on for who knows how long, months and months and months, and but not until that minute, not until he had put George Lucas on that paper, had it really set in that it was gone. It was gone. Yeah, you got $4 billion, but
was it worth it? Do you mind reading this from our friend Susan?
And I really think that he realized it wasn't going to be worth it. That it was like selling his children.
Yep.
Anyway, that's just a personal view. You can look at that video on YouTube and make your own assessment. Right. Susan Dolan, our good friend, says, after the Moors conquered Spain, they tried to invade France. They failed because they were beaten by King Charles, nicknamed the Hammer of the Border. The Percheron is descended from the Moors. Interesting.
Oh, okay. There you go. And I do somewhere have pictures of Catherine Gorge. But I think I found some. Yeah, here we go.
Well, I'll tell you, speaking of gorges, while you're looking for that picture, there's a great gorge here in America. It's in Colorado. It has one of the largest suspension bridges in the world, but in the country for its time. There are bigger ones now, but at the time that it was built, a suspension bridge. There
it is.
And it also has a funicular.
Quebec City has one of those.
Which goes up and down it, and it's the Royal Gorge in Colorado. I recommend it if you're in the States, and because we talk about a lot about world travel, and getting outside of the United States, but a lot of times that may not be a viable choice, whereas things that you can drive to here in the United States are so varied, and we have so many national parks and beautiful state parks, and you can go backpacking there, and it might be a more economical choice for you, but you still get the experience of travel. Like just like we said, there are things to learn from the locals of any place. There are things to learn from the locals of your fellow Americans or Canadians as well.
Well, and that's why one of my tips is to stay in the hostels if you get a chance, because you talk to people from around the world, but the people working at the hostel are all locals, often who have grown up there, and they deal with with backpackers coming back from places all the time, and they see their responses, and they'll tell you what's good and what's not. But getting back to money, Cam, if you're gonna walk, like we said, never put all of your money in one place or all of your ID. Always put a separate piece of ID. If you've got your passport on you, then put your driver's license in your a backpack that stays at the hostel or stays at the hotel. Put your driver's license or some other form. Don't put everything together. Put some money. Leave some money in your backpack. It's like, well, I don't want to leave money in my backpack. Okay, I get that. So here's a tip. Tip number 9. If you don't want to leave, what do we got here? What's that look like to you?
Looks like 3 pesos.
Yes. And there's only one country that has 3 pesos that I know of in a bill. Cuba.
Cuba.
That's Cuban. Cuba. Right? So, I don't want to leave money. Okay. And this is a pretty one. See, this is Aruba.
Oh, nice.
That's a sea turtle. This is from Aruba, 5 florins. Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to put money. I've got a secret pocket in my backpack. Yeah, they know, they'll find secret pockets. I wouldn't. But what you can do, and I've done this many, many times, is take some cash, some emergency cash, in case you get robbed or in case you drop your wallet or you spend all, whatever happens. If you want to, and then put the money in the map, a little tiny map, and then fold the map up, and it just fits right in the crease, fold it right up, and then you put that in your backpack along with your other maps from your travels, in with notepads or whatever else, whatever books you have, and you put that, and that is just a shitty little city map that you can get all it's everywhere. You can get maps everywhere, so no one's going to take a map from your backpack. And now you can leave money in your backpack. No one will ever find it, but don't put all your money in one place.
That's a great. That is an absolutely great tip about the map. I had forgotten about that one personally. Or travel brochures work as well.
That's right. Yep.
And you're going to find those in all the tourist spots, and usually in the hostels or in the hotels, in the lobby,
yes.
you're going to have a little stand that has those things in them.
Yes. Hey, Matt.
Take them. Well, they're good. They're good for the information, but they're also good for the tip that you just used. And and that not putting everything in one place, it goes for when let's say
don't put it all in one place, Big Dave K. What Cam just said. Don't put it all in one place.
When even all right, let's say all right, I'm traveling to Spain, all right, and I haven't gotten there yet. I'm on my way there. Even then, I've got I got to have my passport handy and my plane tickets and some cash, a small amount, to spend.
Hang on. Whoa, wait. Something's outside. Hang on.
Sure.
Something's outside.
Ooh. Yay! Are we going to eat it? Spidey does eat everything that he shoots, so intruders. But those are great travel tips. The one from Spidey about putting things in a map, that is a great one. I'd forgotten about that one myself. But what I was saying is that when you're traveling, even before you get to your destination, you want to start having this mentality of, all right, so I've got my passport and my tickets and a little bit of traveling cash. I've got that traveling cash easy, accessible, so I don't have to dig my wallet out every time. And then I've got my passport and my tickets like in a breast pocket, usually with a zipper, and then I'll have an entirely separate wallet, my normal wallet setup that I would everyday carry. I will keep that in another separate location that's secure. And that way, if
Neighbor's
you do get robbed, you just give them one set of things. You know what I mean? And then you've got your backup set of things. You know, and if you do lose your passport, they are very helpful at embassies and consulates. They will help you. They will even try to get you funds if you're, you know, unfortunate and you fill out a police report and all of that good stuff. I mean, you have to go through some hoops, but they will do their best to help you. They will get you new travel documents as quickly as possible.
Yeah, nice.
And they will try to help you out, you know, with food money and stuff like that. But I mean, believe me, don't try to take advantage of them. But if you are actually in a dire position where you've been the victim of a crime, you know, go to the consulate, go to the embassy, report it. You can even call, and they'll, you know, someone will talk to you, and they'll know who you are when you get there. You know, if you let them know. So that's a good thing. I once had my wallet lifted.
Ooh.
I either lost it or I got pickpocketed. It was in my early days of traveling, and I drank too much and I passed out on a train, and someone, you know, I either dropped my wallet or someone picked my
problem
pocket.
with drinking too much when you travel, that because they look for people like that have let their guard down and incapacitated themselves. They're
Yeah.
taking advantage of vulnerable people.
I was quite young, you know, quite a younger man. I was probably you know, in my early 20s, and hadn't traveled that much outside of the country, and hadn't learned some of the things that maybe I should have.
Well, yeah, those are lessons that some of them you only can learn the hard way, though, eh?
Right, exactly.
So I've got a little bit of a show and tell here. So you see that this is in northern India, in the Himalayas. There, these are Tibetan prayer flags. A lot of Tibetans live in India. They fled Tibet and are now living in northern India because it's the Himalayas, I guess, similar. And so this is a little town called Leh in the region of Ladakh, and so that was amazing. So now when they blow off the line, the prayers that are written on them in that language come true, and so when they blow off, the prayers come true, and when they blow off, if you happen walking along the trail, you can pick up some discarded prayer flags. So, yeah, and here I'll just make myself big here.
Yeah, big in your face.
But these are Tibetan prayer flags from the Himalayas, and they're little. There's like writing on them and little images. I think you can see the horse there, and then there's another Shiva or whoever he is, and then it's a dragon thingy, and this is a tiger. That's a tiger there, and I don't know what language it is, but well, Tibetan, I suppose,
or some type of Sanskrit, maybe even.
You tell me, and they come in different colors, right? So yeah, I collected those because they had already blown away. And some of them were so old, like the writing is just completely like there's no writing. I mean, maybe you could read that, but just amazing. So yeah, some Tibetan prayer flags. But the prayers have already I didn't take them off the line. They blew off, and the prayers already came true, and I collected. And they're everywhere there. So yeah. So that was here. Sorry, I'll remove myself.
I was that one was the first one that you showed was so intricate. Did you see people like
yes.
Well, I was wondering if they have professionals who you tell your prayer to, and then they put it on the material.
Most likely, I think so. Yeah. And you know what? They have certain standard prayers that it looks like they're stamped on, so they just stamp them on.
Okay.
Like standard prayer. Oh, I've got one for your daughter going to university or whatever. Yeah, put that on there. Or, wealth to the family or health to your parents and so forth.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And would you mind reading this from our friend Daniel's Hot Topics?
Yes, Daniel's Hot Topic says, I love Cuba. I will always remember walking down the nice hot beach in Veradero, sitting under a palm tree, and our tour guide, Alfonso, found me and gave me a Cuban cola. It had cane sugar. It was good. Yes, sir.
That is quite the coincidence.
So Cuban Coke is like Mexican Coke, made with real cane sugar.
I think so. But it's a coincidence because just guess what other tour? This is a souvenir that I picked up. And that's quite coincidental because guess what country is famous for baseball?
Right, and it's Cuba.
So this is, I don't know if you can tell over the camera, but it is handmade. Like, it's definitely not high quality, but it's like what your grandma would make. Handmade leather. I mean, it's nice. It's not really well padded. I think it would hurt. And it says here, Los Barbudos. Here, I'll show you. Los Barbudos is what that says. And that is apparently Castro's baseball team called the Bearded Ones.
Interesting.
So this is a handmade ball glove from Cuba. So someone asked me, like, what are some of the souvenirs you've collected? So Tibetan prayer flags from the Himalayas in India, the Cuban baseball glove from Cuba, and we were talking about Amsterdam earlier, right, my friend? So check this out. Amsterdam does produce English little papers for the tourists that come there to read about what's going on in Amsterdam. So how's that for a coinky dink?
Right? That's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, check this picture. Does this look familiar to you, my friend? Is that not an Amsterdam scene?
Oh yeah, the Glaston ferry. Those are tourist boats, and they will. They're also they have commuter boats like that as well. Just for people to commute up and down the canals because it's much quicker.
Architecture in Amsterdam too is
a lot of these are tourist boats. Yeah, it's so beautiful. One of the major draws to Amsterdam for me was the architecture and just the the way the city is up and the canals, and it's just beautiful there. And then there's the museums are outstanding as well. I'm a fan of Rembrandt. Everybody,
the Van Gogh Museum.
Van Gogh.
Can you see? It's right above the Japanese soldier, right there. The black print. That's a Van Gogh. That's a Van Gogh. Speaking of Amsterdam, and I got that in Amsterdam because the Van Gogh Museum is in Amsterdam. I'm going to pull that down.
Yes, both the Van Gogh and Rembrandt museums are there in Amsterdam. Both are outstanding.
This is another one of my souvenirs that I collected.
Probably could spend at least a whole day in each one, if not longer.
I spent the better part of the day in the Van Gogh Museum. Here it is right here. This is Vincent van Gogh print from his museum in Amsterdam in 1999.
Wow.
And this is called Self-Portrait Man Smoking Cigarettes. Doesn't say what kind of a cigarette it is. But that's it. This is a Van Gogh. My mother saw it when I brought it because I was living at home at the time. I brought it, or was I? Nah, I was home sometimes, and I showed it. That's disgusting. It's a Van Gogh.
It might be disgusting, but it's classy.
Van Gogh. I'm all classy now. That's right. So that's another one of my souvenirs. Oh, and check this out. I had told people that I had this in one of, I think it was Ecuador. We were talking about chocolate. This is from Venezuela in Caracas. This is Caracas, Venezuela. I got this when I was on the cruise ship. This is in a burlap sack. This is chocolate. These are chocolate beans in here.
Oh, okay, okay.
This is chocolate beans. So I haven't opened this up in like a couple of decades.
Oh
But
wow.
let's open up. Do you want to see some chocolate beans from Venezuela?
Sure we do. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah. And do you mind
I
reading the
want to know if
chat?
what their aroma is still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Let me
I went
pull
to
up the-
Cuba a couple of times. The
some
last
chat
time
for me?
was
Okay.
2005, 7. Was it maybe 2007? Big Dave K was the last time I was there. And yeah, I wouldn't go right now until they settle down. It's a great place to go, but they've run out of money, and that's what happens with socialist countries. And so Venezuela and Russia were coincidentally Venezuela. These are from Venezuela. Venezuela and Russia were supporting them, and now both of them are no longer supporting them. So Cuba is. I wouldn't. Yeah, they're hurting. I wouldn't go there now, but it is a beautiful place. It's a good. Rod Thunderheart will talk your ear off about how wonderful it is there, and he's not wrong.
I was going to say, Rod has recommended Cuba to me a couple times. He really enjoyed his time there. And I know a former girlfriend. Her parents went there when it was still semi illegal to go there, so they had to go through Montreal. And eventually did get in trouble.
Yeah, Canadians can go there.
Right, but they did end up getting in trouble. They got like a letter from the Border Patrol and wanted to, because the whole thing is you could travel to Cuba, you just can't spend any money there
because they don't want to support the economy, of course.
Right. So it's like a whole thing.
And Rod has not lived there; he's seen it from a tourist's perspective. So of course you're going to see it. So if this person had lived there, like Big Dave K is saying, somewhere that has lived. All right, so this is the chocolate. Here we go.
But for me personally, I would love to see
chocolate after. This is still chocolate.
Wow.
Look at that.
That is amazing.
This is chocolate from Venezuela from 1992. How old is that? Yeah.
It's like what?
That is chocolate from the cocoa, from the nut. Okay, you can see how it looks like they would go together like that in the bean, and they don't put the bean in the burlap sack. And you split the bean, and there's like a wool, like a cotton stuffing around it, and you peel it out, and I think that's what that is. So they crush it up and put it in a scoop like that. Is that natural, or is that put in there? Did they scoop that up? That looks kind of formed. They might have taken the powder up and then scooped it and put it in balls and then put it in that sack. Maybe that's what it is. But anyway,
that's what I was thinking, because that looks like
chocolate powder. That is the chocolate powder, and this is from 1991. So what do we?
24 years.
34 years.
34 years, yeah. Jeez.
Well, let's see what it tastes like.
Oh. Is it good?
That is bitter.
Yeah. Well, it's
that is bitter chocolate.
It is unsweetened dark chocolate. Right?
Yeah. But wow. Like,
do you think?
Yeah, but dark chocolate is 70%. This is pure cocoa.
Right.
It's still good.
So it's going to have
a lot of cream, a lot of sugar. It's like straight chocolate powder. That is friggin' good, still good chocolate. Wow, that is Nicaraguan chocolate. Yeah, another one of my fantastic souvenirs in a little burlap bag here. Yeah.
34 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing that it's still, in such good shape and it's edible and delicious.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It'd be delicious if you added a lot of sugar and cream to it. I don't know if I I don't know if I'd say delicious, but it's definitely freaking chocolate. It's chocolate, yeah. And I told people I had this, and so I wasn't bullshitting. And I also told people that I went skydiving on Mission Beach, and I'm gonna put it. So there, skydiving Mission Beach, and you jump the beach. And what's that say?
Awesome.
How high?
From 40,000?
Well, close.
I know. I'm just joking.
14,000 feet.
Before you zoomed in, all I could see was the 4, and it just looked like a 40,000.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm like, you're using oxygen and a flight suit.
Almost, right? And guess what? This necklace. Guess where that is from? And what?
Does that have human teeth in it?
Ooh, it is teeth, but not human. That's piranha.
I was piranha. Joking.
That is from Ecuador on the Amazon River. That is an Amazon River piranha jaw.
Wow, that's a big piranha.
I did not catch that. Well, yeah, I've got a picture of one. It's about that big. But,
yeah, I know they're not tiny, but I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good size. Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah,
when I think of piranha, like I always think that they're kind of a little bit smaller. I don't know why.
And that is from Bally's Casino in Las Vegas.
Nice.
There's the Las Vegas Casino chip. It doesn't want to focus.
I've got one from it was the last of the original hotels for Tropicana. I stayed there. I stayed there in 2010. And I saw Wayne Newton there, and it was like it was the last of old Las Vegas, and they just demolished it. I think it was just 2 years ago. So it was last hotel from the like the heyday.
I've never seen Kundun. No, have you seen this movie Kundun?
Kundun, no. It does sound familiar though.
Yeah, it does, but I haven't. No,
I don't. Yeah, I couldn't say more about it.
Wow,
except
I believe
I was thinking that the Tibetans who had fled, I would think that a lot of the reason that a lot of them settled, in northern India was to be close to Tibet if they could return to their homeland. Plus, the Himalayas are sacred to them. The spirits of the mountains and so on. So the proximity, I would imagine, would have a lot to do with it.
Yep.
I mean, that's conjecture on my part, though.
That's an educated guess. William Shakespeare in the chat says the Rembrandt Museum in Amsterdam is a must-see.
Yeah.
Plan at least 4 hours, preferably the entire day. I would say the same for the Van Gogh Museum. Seriously. And definitely come back. This print, I think, was $30, and it's on like a wooden, like a pressed, crappy wooden base. So yeah, it's nice and firm. Boy, you know what? That chocolate flavor is just staying with me. That's amazing. Like that is some real chocolate there. That's incredible. Yeah. And do you mind reading this from Daniel's Hot Topics?
Daniel's Hot Topic says Coca-Cola Orange Cream will come to Canada and the U.S. on February 10th, 2025. So
Perfect.
look out for it.
No, I love it. Awesome.
Sweet.
Big Dave K says, I should go to the Netherlands one day. I hear the spring is the best time to go. I would agree. I don't know the best because I've only been there in the fall and the spring, but the spring was amazing.
I was there in July.
Ooh.
That seemed like a good time. Wasn't too hot.
Can
Beautiful.
you read this?
I would rather been in there in the spring, maybe just for the tulips. Anyways,
it doesn't get as hot as Paris, does it? Yeah, you're right. It doesn't get as hot as Spain or Paris. Yeah.
Oh no, and much cooler, especially
right.
being right on the water.
That's right.
William Shakespeare says, at Big Dave K, I've been there at both solstices, midsummer, and midwinter. Both were excellent. The snow in winter made the place kind of surreal. And I'm going to imagine that our good friend William was referring to Amsterdam.
I think he would. Yep, that's
the
right.
Netherlands
And part-time planting. Hello, and good to see you. Part-time planting says 60% coca is good. 80% is starting to taste like powder chocolate, a bit dry. Well, that's why I didn't have a pleasant look on my face there for a minute, because that's 100% cocoa powder. But the flavor really stays with me. It's good. It was impressive. Yeah. And saying hello to everybody. Hello. Big Dave K says, William Shakespeare, I want to go back to Ireland, but I need to get over my fear of driving on the other side. Yeah, that's a big thing. No, it didn't taste like dirt. It tasted like powdered chocolate.
I'll tell you, I think that was Big Dave saying about traveling. In Ireland, I had the same problem. I thought I would be fine driving on the opposite side of the road. And we got off the plane, got into the rental car, and I started driving down the road, and I was about to get on a major highway to head into Dublin. A friend of mine was working there. She worked for a bank in Boston, and they sent her to Ireland, so she spent some time in Ireland working, and so we went there to visit her, and I was about to get on this highway, and I would just I was already having so much trouble. I'm like, if we gotta get on this highway, I'm probably gonna kill us both. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and she had previous experience driving in Europe, so I was like, and I hadn't, but I wanted to give it a try, and I just couldn't. I couldn't wrap my brain around it. She ended up driving the whole trip, and I was thankful for it. She was quite good at it. I was not.
Yep. It's it takes practice. It does. I had spent a year and a half straight in Australia, so that really helped. And driving on the other side of the road. So once it was time to drive in Ireland, the buddy that I was with had no experience in driving on that side, and neither had the girlfriend that I was with at the time. So yeah, I ended up being the sober driver in friggin' Ireland. So that was a lot of fun. Not.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. We didn't. I did, I probably drank more than she did, and we did most of our drinking when we didn't have to drive anywhere.
But that is smart. Yeah, we did a little bit of that. And you might recognize these are photos from Amsterdam. You might recognize these locations.
We did drive from Dublin to Glasgow, which is from the east coast to the west coast of Ireland, and we would sticking to that, the road less traveled, we would often, just go off on these little side roads. And if we saw an inn or a pub or something, I would make her stop and
we'd have a pint, or I would have a shot of Guinness, and we would just talk with the locals and see what was, going on in that area, and just like chat them up.
That it's now. Do you recognize this is one of the main canals in Amsterdam and in the red light district at night?
I was just going to say that's the red light district.
Yeah, so is this picture here. Yeah, and there's main thoroughfares, and then when you get to the narrower alleyways away from the main thorough, like the low rent areas, the girls behind the glass are lower attractive girls.
Yes, the farther away you get from
the main drag, the rent is less, and therefore the highly attractive girls command the center of attention at the main drags. Of course. And here's Amsterdam during the daylight.
They attract the most amount of money and are able to, because a lot of those spots are those are rentals. You know what I mean? Like you're renting that space. And so you have to be an attractive person and generate
that's right.
A good amount of money in order to be able to afford to be in that part of town. You know 100%. What I mean? To have your wares where they can be seen by the most people.
Do you mind reading this from our friend?
Sashi says, as long as it's not processed cocoa, you're okay. Processed cocoa is very expensive. Malaysia makes it and ships it under heavy guard. No kidding.
Yeah,
I would think that that's probably one of their main exports, and I can understand why it would be under heavy guard. I'm sure it has.
Oh, it's like I was told that by an American named Mike who was in Guatemala, and he was closing up his coffee shop after running it for 15 years. Because it had got to the point where he needed armed guards to transport his coffee from his farm to market. And he said, once I need to hire a crew of armed guards, I'm out.
Yeah.
Coffee is worth more than gold almost. So this is still Amsterdam.
That's just so sad that he, probably
there's the red light district.
Had a thriving business that just
it was still thriving. He just couldn't. Oh, and there's one of the narrower. See, the alleyways get more narrow, and that's And I felt at some point you can't go back. Like you feel like you're like a sheep. You're just being pushed forward, and then it was crazy.
Yeah, and then it gets really crowded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tourist central. Mainly men.
Oh, Thunderbird.
Drinking and carousing and.
Yep.
And not only it's not just the red light district for sexual things. It's also where those soft drugs are tolerated in Amsterdam.
Yes.
Hard drugs are not. They're
not. The soft drugs are much like British Columbia. Although, you know what? British Columbia now, under the Trudeau government and our provincial government, pretty much anything goes, and our tax money is actually used to buy hard drugs that are distributed at safe injection sites. I think we have a lower tolerance. A lower crime, lower level for what's considered criminal than Amsterdam. Our tolerance for hard drugs is perhaps higher here in Canada, in British Columbia, than in Amsterdam. And I can't believe it. It's crazy. So it's got to stop. And hi, Rod Thunderheart. We've been going for 2 hours just about. We're 1 minute shy of 2 hours. And I think travel tips. We've talked about a lot of different travel tips. We've shown off some souvenirs that I've brought back. Kundan pertains to the Tibetans that fled. Oh, okay. Thanks, Big Dave K.
Yeah, and that's definitely a good recommendation. We really appreciate that.
Perfect time to wrap it up. And part-time planting, you haven't been here before too. Well, no, one time, but you haven't been here a lot before. So I want to thank you for coming. And do you mind
it's
reading
good to
this
see people.
from our friend, Big Dave
Yes,
K?
Big Dave K says Disney decided to give the movie hardly any promotion at all because it would have offended China. At Canadian Spider-Man and Cam, there's a reason why most folks won't have heard of it.
Okay.
And now that you're saying this, Big Dave K, I think you're bringing back a memory I have not of Kundun, which I think is probably a great shame that it wasn't better promoted. But
That is the guy with
Disney is a perpetual violator of human rights and kowtows to China. They paid like to use these work camps that they have that they put the Uyghurs in for the filming of the live action Mulan film.
Ooh, okay.
So there's a long history of Disney either kowtowing to China or participating directly or indirectly, monetarily, in the Chinese oppression of their own people.
Allegedly.
Well,
Minecraft.
Allegedly.
No, I'm kidding. No, we can. No, I'm not kidding. No, we don't. I don't care about monetization on this channel. Anne Frank House. No, Anne Frank House was in that area, but not right there, Old Man Bird. And I want to say hello and welcome to you. And
I've been to the. I was at the Anne Frank House.
it's the line and turned around, man. It was huge.
Yeah, it's a museum and it's huge. It's probably one of the most visited sites in Amsterdam, I believe.
Good to see you, Old Man Bird. Milk chocolate is delicious. I agree. But hey, I mean, how often do you get a chance to see chocolate from Venezuela? From when's the last time you saw chocolate from Venezuela from 1991?
Never.
There you
Sorry
go.
about the background noise there. I had to slip outside for a smoke.
I should really do something with the. I mean, I have this chocolate. I don't know. Maybe I should do a cooking video and like mix it up with sugar and coconut milk and make something with it, or at least 3 of them. But yeah, they taste like chocolate. Still like very chocolatey chocolate. Cool.
I wonder if it would make good hot chocolate. Since it's already powdered.
It might. Did you take the ferry to Scotland, Dublin to Glasgow?
No, I didn't. I've actually, even though I'm from Scottish descent and I actually have a huge Scotland Forever tattoo on my leg that wraps around with the flag. I've never been. I would love to go.
Scotland's cool.
Scots friends and my ancestors are from there, and I've got cousins and whatnot, but I've never had the chance to visit.
No, it's
a
fantastic place. Urquhart Castle is pretty amazing. So, William Shakespeare says, yes, my comment there was about Amsterdam. My description of timing, probably not. I now realize solstice occurs at the beginning of the season, not mid-season. I shall flog myself accordingly. Yes, and with the pointy flog. Scotland forever, says Big Dave K. That is also half of my heritage, Scottish and Irish. Old Man Bird. So sick of their bullshit, says Big Dave K. Oh, the Disney bullshit. Yeah, they are. William Shakespeare says, when Disney declares bankruptcy, I'll be able to rest. Whole Golden Tunes, DJ Planets, Susan Dolan, Friday Night Attack Force. Good to see you here, everybody. So I think that he cut it off to impress a hooker who wasn't impressed, Susan Dolan said. Really? I hope that's not true. We need to stop. The biggest crime in society right now is simps, and we need to stop the simps. Stop the simps.
That is a true story. But my understanding is it wasn't his whole ear. It was the lobe.
It was just the lobe. So this is a fan that I got in Japan, and this is the JR. So JR stands for Japan Rail. and that
Oh,
is
okay.
oh, here it is here, Japan Rail.
Yeah.
There's the phone. Someone call that phone number. There's the phone number for Japan Rail.
And
Right
and you
there.
tell them you want to go from Tokyo to the Izu Peninsula.
What's the area code for Japan? I want to. Is it 61? Is 61 Japan? Oh shit! I should know this. No, that might be Australia. Oh shit! I can't remember Japan. Oh man, I should. No, 61's Australia. I can't remember the country code for Japan. Damn it. Oh well. Anyway, that's the phone number for JR Rail. That's cool. But yeah. Oh, so fans. So travel tip: when you go to Japan, people are all the time moving their arm like this. That's not how you do a Japanese fan. They hold the arm still, and they simply rotate the wrist.
Yes.
And that's all they do is just rotate little rotations. You know,
Right.
if you do this forever, you're going to get tired. No. You rotate the wrist. That's how you do it in Japan. Or even better, I did. Ooh, what else did I pick up? Ooh. Oh, I picked up some playing cards from Bally's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you can get used playing cards that were actually used in the casino. That's another tourist souvenir you can buy. But these fans, oh, here it is. Yeah, this is a hand-painted fan from Japan. And yeah, that's how they. It's just the slight twist of the wrist, right? And so the little dainty. Ooh, that smells like perfume. They just do, and you can do this all day without your wrist getting tired. Because if you do anything more than this, your wrist gets tired. Anyway.
Well, and I wonder often if they come perfumed like that to, create a pleasant odor.
I did not steal that from a Japanese lady, so I would assume yes. It comes pre-perfumed. Yeah. I did not take that from anybody. Ooh, and this time of the year is spring's coming up and Easter. And my friends in Mexico can right now, they're on sale for Easter. They can buy, you've had hot cross buns? You buy that in the States with the hot cross buns, right? It's the chewy, soft dough and then the sweet frosting.
Yes.
So Mexico has an entire ring. It looks like a wreath of that.
Oh, yeah.
And and they put like food coloring in them and they put like candied cherries on them. And inside, and there's no label telling you that inside is a plastic baby Jesus. And there's 3 of these bastards in there.
Oh, wow.
So tip number 10 or 12, we're going to end it on 12. Tip number 12 is if you go to foreign places and eat their Easter breads, be careful because there could be a plastic baby Jesus inside.
Well, that's so interesting because in New Orleans and in France for Mardi Gras, they make those cakes and they're the same, and they put one of those there's one special charm in there, you know what I mean? And whoever gets it, right? But whoever gets it is like king, king of the Mardi Gras for the day. You know what I mean? Of your party. A lot of times, I forget the whole tradition now, but it is very similar, and happens around the same time.
And Mardi Gras is coming up. I'm excited you're going to. Listen, when you go and run with the bulls, please take some photos, and if you want to do a live stream from there, that'd be cool too. But come on back with photos and tell us about your trip.
Oh yeah, I would love to do that. It would be a sincere pleasure. And that'll be in the early part of July, so maybe in August sometime.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. And Susan Dolan, this is Parada. They are the size of a trout.
Hey, I just want to say thanks so much for having me, Spidey, man. Always a pleasure to hang out with you. Always interesting conversation to have. Traveling is probably the thing I enjoy most. you know. It's a hobby, it's a passion. I'm a history buff, so just anything that I can learn along the way. As someone used to say about me, I'm like a dog, you know. I sniff all the trees and you know, pee on all the signs.
I would love to go traveling. I want to go to Greece this year, so hopefully that will happen.
Man, what a great trip that would be. Just
I hope so.
Just beautiful, and you know, just the culture, the history, the food. Couldn't probably ask for a better place to visit.
It won't be just for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Nice. That would be great, man.
Well, good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, and I want to thank my special co-host, Cam.
Thanks again, brother, and thank you to everybody who's been in the chat. If we haven't said hello to you, I apologize, but it's great to see so many familiar faces and some new faces that I hadn't met before. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for being here.
Traveling all day long, yeah. And yes, Big Dave K, you got it, man. You're definitely coming with us. You got
it, man. Hey, you know, traveling is
just don't put all your money around your neck.
It broadens the mind and the heart. You know,
it does. Really does. I learned more in like 5 years of traveling than my entire school career. That's for sure.
Yeah, that doesn't come as a shock to me. And I hear that a lot from people who have traveled. You know, and that those experiences, those opportunities to learn were either you know, brought the knowledge on more quickly or easily by being immersed in these cultures.
100%.
You also the more you travel, the more open you become to other cultures and to learning about other things.
That's right. Yes. Before I traveled, I was a racist son of a bitch. No, I'm kidding. I was never a racist. But yeah, it's impossible for you to be a racist if you've traveled extensively and backpacked. And I do absolutely think every world leader, it should be a requirement that they should have to backpack, not stay in the Hilton, backpack around the world for a year before they become leader. And Big Dave K, I already was a designated driver around Ireland. I'm not the designated driver again around Ireland. But England, I want to do a road trip around England. I've never done it. You know what? We'll hire a driver. That's fine.
Hey, well, I was just talking. I don't drink anymore, so.
Oh, perfect. All right.
Yeah, we were just talking. I haven't been drunk in over a year.
All right. Well, then I think we'll drive and we won't have a worry about it, Big Dave K. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. All right.
Thanks.
We will see you later, everybody. Thanks, Cam. This was fun, man.